Hello and welcome back to Tapes of the Dead. Today I'm going to be talking about I Cut Your Flesh, a documentary about this girl named Socks who is into kink and getting pierced and real life blood play. So the film opens up with her getting pierced in the stomach, and then it cuts to the title card and there's this awesome metal soundtrack over it by this band called Mouth Breather. Great band. First time I heard of them introduced me to another great band. Just one of the few great things I liked about this film. And so basically throughout this film we hear about this girl Socks and her whole history with blood play and getting into the kink community and everything like that. We see needles getting driven through her head. We see one part where she gets needles in her hooks in her knees, I believe, in her back, and she gets suspended. She has a master take needles and like a blowgun and blow darts right into her ass, like her ass cheeks, not her asshole. Different things like that. This is the first and only documentary that I know of that touches on the topic of blood play, so it was a pretty interesting watch. It runs only over like an hour, like I think it's an hour and 7 minutes, but it does start to drag a little bit. There's just a lot of scenes of her getting pierced, like play sessions essentially, and not a whole lot on the actual like what they have to do to take precautions to like be safe and everything, and her history. The only history we really get is that like she's called Socks because she used to wear a bunch of cool socks, and then eventually one of her doms started calling her just Socks, and it just stuck. And that's really the only history we get from her. But you don't really need it when you just have scenes and you get to see what she does, and you get to see it for real. Overall, this is a pretty solid documentary. My main gripes with the film is that a lot of the soundtrack, which is just like dissonant guitar chords, like 3 guitar chords repeated over and over. And the first time I heard it, I was like, oh, this is awesome, this is real fucking heavy. And then it gets repeated after and after and over again. And also that some of the footage itself is repeated. And the film is only an hour and 17 minutes, yet they still repeat and reuse the same footage. Also, Socks and some of the other doms that are featured in this film don't really talk about the actual subculture as much as I would have liked to hear. And there's one dom who you see in the very beginning, who I think he owns a tattoo parlor, or they just happen to use a tattoo parlor to play. And I would have loved to hear from him, hear his perspective on everything, but we don't. All we do is just see him and Socks interacting. But still a pretty great film, an easy watch, and a great label. This came out on a Baroque house, so go support them and keep watching underground film. See you guys tomorrow.